So now we are going to test the option which is known as window in our data flow activity. Okay, so if you hit there, you can see you have multiple options and window is also one of the options. Okay, and basically how it helps. So I can explain this with an example. So for example, you have a sales data. So we have a sales data and we want to calculate a running total. What's the meaning of running total? Okay, so basically if a product ID A is there, so there are three records for product ID A, and we have a date column. So every date the sales is going to happen of starting from 1st January, 2nd January, and 3rd January, right? So this is the sales amount. So similar product has sold three times. Okay. So and there are three entries available in ourselves. So what is the running total, right? So the meaning of running total is it will add on the basis of, for example, uh, on 1st of January, what was the sale amount? So let me do this, explain this way. Okay, so let's see, this is the data. Okay, the column has not yet captured. So this is your just a second, this is your sales. Let me okay, entirely copy. It is because of my mistake. Okay, now it is done. So you can see now the meaning of running total simply means that, just a second. Yeah, now it looks better. The running of total means that I need a column named as running total, first of all. Okay. And as per this column, what is my date? On 1st of January, what is the total sales volume? 100, right? What is the total sales volume? I'm not asking for only for 2nd January, but if I check the sales of product A, right? What is the total sold amount because of product A? The total sold amount is all the amount which was sold starting from 1st of January till today. So this is known as the running total. So what is the total volume? Total sales of product A is 250, right? So we are summing up these things. Okay. Similarly, for product A, what is the total sales on 3rd of January? My total sales on 3rd on January is 450, right? So it is aggregating everything starting from 1st January till that date. So that is the meaning of running total. Okay, now if you want to calculate, you will use window options this way. Similarly, for product B, what is the total volume of sales, total amount of sales on 1st of January? It is 50, right? And what is the total amount of sales on 3rd of January? So we don't have a record for 2nd January. We have record directly for 3rd January. So what will be the total one? It is 120, right? So this is known as running total. Okay. So so, okay. So now we are going to implement this scenario. Okay. So let me open a new pipeline. I can just mention PL underscore window. Can hide the properties and I can drag and drop the data flow. I can go to settings. I will have to create a new data flow by clicking on here. Okay. And before that, I am going to show you what data I'm having for this window. So I will go to my input container and let me check. Yeah, this is sales underscore window. So this is the data I'm having. The same data which I just now presented you, the same element I'm having. This is the product A. So it was sold three times starting from 1st January to 3rd January. And there are three amounts available. For product B, it was sold two times. We have it was sold on 1st January and it was sold on 3rd of January. Okay. So this is all about. So we need to find out the running total using this window options, right? So let me show you once again. Okay. So how we will configure that? So we have three parts of it. Okay. First one is a partition by, another one is a order by, and third one is a window column. Okay. Now we have to discuss one by one in detail how it means. Okay. Now first, what do you mean by partition by? So basically we want to partition, we want to find the running total on the basis of product. Okay, so we have a product column. On the basis of product we are going to find this out, right? So product column will become my partition by column. Okay, because it is creating the different partitions. For product a running total will be differently calculated only for product A. Similarly for product B is a different partition altogether, right? So a separate calculation will run for product B. Similarly, if we have product C, separate calculation will be run on the basis of product C. So what is my partition column? Partition column is my product, right? So this is the meaning of partition column. Now talking about order by. Order by means sales data. So actually we have to make it a ascending order, okay, on the basis of sales data. So this ensures the running totals is calculated in chronological order. When I'm saying chronological order, what do you mean by chronology? Chronology means it should be associated with some dates. Okay, the start date, so it will be calculated on the basis of what is the previous value will become ascending order. On the basis of this, the sales volume will be calculated. Okay. So on the basis of chronology, it will first take only that sale amount which is on the 1st of January, or any date which should be in chronological order. It should be ascending in order, ascending way, right? So this is the order by column. Then third one is known as window column. What do you mean by window column? So basically you want a separate column to be added which is known as running total. And how it will be calculated? It will be calculated on the basis of summation. It will sum the value, okay, based on this the orders, right? So it is going to sum. This is nothing but a summation of this value and this value, right? So this is known as window. Window simply means running total. Okay, so let's do this way. So what we are going to do, we are going to have add this as a source. So let me do this df underscore window. Let's hide this one. Now again, I'm just using inline. Once again, I will choose link service. Okay, I will choose the delimited text because I'm using a CSV file once again, right? So here in link services, I have selected link services. Now I'm going to choose the browse option. I will hit on input container and I'm going to select the data. This is the data sales underscore window, which is in CSV format. So my first row is header. So I just click on this checkbox for first row as a header. And now I'm going to go into projections and I will hit on this import schema. I will hit on this import icon. Okay. You can see this is imported. Now we can convert this sales amount into decimal. The reason is because we want to provide a appropriate data type. Okay. So this is decimal. Now we will hit on this optimize, inspect and data preview. I will refresh to see the data, how it is looking like. Okay. So in the meanwhile, what we can do is we can hit on this plus icon. Okay. And we can select our option known as window. And you can see the data which is now generated. Okay, so sales data is coming as null, and it is because of the data type, because whatever data is captured here, it is not reading with the date data type, right? So the date data type only reads YYMMDD format, right? So what we can do, we can again go back to the projection and we can change this from date field to string field. So string will allow everything. So later on, if you want to convert this into date field, you can put a derived column node and you can just use the format expression to do that. So that we have already explained in the previous videos. Okay, so now what you can do is, okay, let's first check the data preview once again because I just changed. So if you refresh, your date column will appear instead of null. Let's wait. You can see date column is now appeared. Now we can go to window and we can apply settings which is available as per our things. So over, what do you mean by over? Over is nothing but it is asking the partition by column. Okay, so whatever I have discussed, over is nothing but it is asking for partition. So what is my partition by? Partition by product. I want to do that, right? So I will select product as my partition by column. And how I want to name is, you can rename also, but I don't want to change the name. So it is name as product only, right? Now, what is the sorting column? So as I told you, who will sort on the basis of what on the basis of which chronology it will getting decided to find out the running total. So obviously date is the column which it is going to sort, right? So let me expand this properly. So we can use this sales date. Okay, and sales date should be ascending, right? So you can see here also in this document which I prepared for you. So order by will be sales date because this ensures the running total is calculated in chronological order, right? So because of sales date only, it will identify which sales amount I need to pick first, and I will keep on adding, right? So the first date was there, then date goes on increasing mode. That's why it is ascending in nature, right? So sales date is ascending. Now coming to the range by, so you don't have to bother about range by because there is a no bound, right? Whatever data it will be having 10,000, 1 million records. It is unbounded, right? So it is automatically selected. But if you want to make a range, you can just uncheck and make the range. But here in our case, it's not required. And this is the ideal setting that we use in all the scenarios. Now coming to window column means it will generate the additional column which is known as running total, right? If you want to rename this, you just hit and you just give the name as a running total. Okay, and here in expression, what you are going to do, you are going to sum your sales, right? So you will use this sum expression. Okay, and inside this sum of expression, you will use the sales amount, and you can hit on the save icon. Then you can click here, save and finish, and you can see the data in data preview. Okay, you can refresh this data. Now just drag this here. Okay, so we will wait for this to be completed. Okay, now you can see that you have everything, right? Like you have sales amount. Now this is the running total. You can see these two is added to 250. This is 250. Now again 200 is added. So if you check the sale volume on 3rd of January, what is the total? 450. If you check the same sales on 2nd of the January, it will become 250. If you check the sales for 1st of January, it is 100 only, right? So this is the concept of running total, right? So the same thing what we can do, we can just go for a sync, and that's all. And what we can do, we can hit on inline. Once again, I can generate the output in my CSV format. So I will use this delimited text. Okay. So here we can choose delimited text, and then we can use the link services. And once again, we can go to setting, and in the setting, I can generate the output in my output container, and that's all. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the first row as a header, and I want to generate everything in a single file. So I can use this output to a single file option, and I can hit this now sales running total, something like that. The name of the file I want to use this sales running total.csv. You can give any name of your choice. I kept .csv because I want to see the data in CSV format. And the reason why I selected output to a single format, so it is asking to set this as a single partition. So I can hit on this single partition, and I can check in this option also, it is automatically selected, right? So we are done with this sync setting and we can go to error. So I'm not going to change anything to, in this tab because it is generating the error in the output of the sync. So again, this is by default selected as auto mapping option. So I'm not going to do any kind of mapping from my side. So whatever schema will be available, that will be available to the sync node. So that's all. We can check once again the data preview and we are all good to publish and run the pipeline. Okay, so let's see the data once again at the end. You can see the data is generating. So what we can do, we can hit on publish. Okay, and in pipeline we can see the it is asking for a parameter. So let me go to general tab once again and create a parameter, the same parameter that we are using, or we can create any kind of parameter like test run. So I'm giving it default value as true, and I'm going to publish this once again because I made some changes in the pipeline. And once this publish is deployed, I can debug the pipeline to generate the output. So it is now completed. Now I can hit on this debug icon. I can hit on this OK because by default values is already supplied. So we can wait for this to be completed. You can see it is succeeded. So that means my output should be generated for Windows. So I can go once again to the output container and I can find my output. Where is my output? The output is this is sales running total. So you can just click on download if you want. I'm just downloading it. Okay, so you can see this is my running total. This is the sales dot running dot csv. So this has done, right? Okay,